Welcome to Ask Lift Logic, the video series where we're answering your questions. I'm Todd Smith and I'll be your host. Throughout this video series, we're going to cover things that we're experts in. So SEO, web design, web development, PPC, social media, photography, and videography. That's why we wanted to start Ask Lift Logic, to help serve out content to people who aren't just our clients. Because the more you guys know, the better decisions you can make. Earlier, you kind of mentioned like the difference between like web development from app development and software development. Mm-hmm. You want to kind of walk us through kind of like the main pillars of each, or how they're different, and like because like I think to like more people like me who have no real like web development background before working at Lift Logic, I always thought the coding is coding, right. So like how do I go about like knowing the difference between them, or like when I need each? If that makes sense.
I think where this is most relevant for most people today would be the difference between like a mobile app versus like web app or a website. The difference between the two is, for more or less, is one can be ran and installed on your phone. One is ran on your browser and can't be installed on your phone. Native applications and native software for Windows or Mac PCs are all built using native codes such as C++ or Swift for iOS and Java for Android phones. So when you build something natively, you're building it for that platform specifically.
And there's different like ways to write the code, different requirements usually.
Right.
And just all like it's just like a lot more custom to like that one very specific thing.
Yep. When you're working on the web, the languages don't have to do that. They all run in your browser, which is awesome. Obviously, we all use the internet basically every single day. And so for widespread use, if your goal is to just get your product and out there to as many people as possible, you usually are probably going to look at something web-based because so many people have access to the internet. When you start doing native specific things, you're, depending on your costs, if you don't have a big budget, you're probably only targeting one piece of software or one device, such as, I'm just going to build an iOS app, or I'm just going to build an Android app.
Because you end up with like two separate code bases.
For the most part, yeah. That changes every day, and there are things that help mitigate some of that. But for the most part, you're building a Android app, and you're building an iOS app, or you're building a Mac app, and so that's all these different sets of code bases that you have to maintain and manage, and obviously that's costly and can take a lot longer. Whereas when you build a website or a web app, you put it up in the browser, and anyone that has access to a browser can access and use your product.
And then how does software development differ even from those two?
Software development is basically native. That's kind of encompasses
a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Web apps are still considered software. There's usually just more in a piece of software. There's more logic. Usually, there's more functions happening. You're usually going on and doing something, whereas something like a basic website, there's usually it might just be like a landing page or a marketing page. It's not really doing anything.
Feel free to hashtag AskLL on social media, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. But keep in mind, there are no stupid questions, especially in the digital space.